All right, so this is John Rigler, by the way. Feel free to like this video, subscribe to my channel, do all that stuff that people ask you to do. If you like this content. Now, this content is specific to a group that I'm working with that is developing packages within this uh, Godot framework. Um, and and that's what this is the Godot development environment behind here. Now, so in this, the idea here is to use this Ethereum package, and uh, and then that gives you what I would call Web3 integration. It lets you manipulate tokens, that sort of thing. You can call smart contracts. You could see the price of a cryptocurrency, um, exchange. All that stuff is possible, and that's usually done in JavaScript because JavaScript runs through the browser on your computer, and it'll often access things like these extensions here. This is this is a an extension, a Chrome extension called MetaMask that keeps your keys for you and facilitates transactions. See, that would be my ID, one of my IDs stored in MetaMask. However, I'm going to make kind of a shift here and say, you know what? Looking closer at this Ethereum package, first of all, the Godot example program hasn't been touched in 3 years. Okay, so it's not going to be with the most recent version, and that shows that there's not a whole lot of interest in it. And so that's something that you have to think about. Um, it's not to say that it's not possible to get this stuff to work. Here is the bigger Ethereum page on GitHub, and it's rather complex. It's all C sharp, that you have to compile. Now, so I come up with a different solution. Then I'm saying let's just scrap this whole Ethereum idea, and instead we're going to do something. And I've tested it out a little bit in my Godot path. Right here's the file system of of Godot, right? Like here's this, right, OS exec. That's this is the actual script that I'm looking at here. So this is all in G script, and in this directory, which means that you would have to ship this with the package, I have things like the JavaScript driver for Ethereum, and I have hold on a second. I have to turn the Wi-Fi off, or it will make noise and stuff. Okay, so and I have Node. I have Node.js. Let's see. I think will that tell you? Yeah. So version 2015.0. That's probably not the latest version. So this is a file. It's just installed here on Windows. It would be Node.exe, but you know, and you're used to, normally you think of Node.js as running on the server, but we're going to do it a little different here. We're going to run it on the client. And so your call, within Godot, somehow I signaled to make that smaller. Within Godot, you go to the shell and you run this node command. Want to be a little bit careful about that. Maybe you wrap some stuff around here to check to make sure it's the version you think it is. Um, and they're going to pass it this JavaScript right here. Okay, it's going to execute that outside of Godot. It's going to run Node.js. It doesn't have to run all the time. It just does certain things, and it can do this very fast. And it comes back and it puts the result in this object, which it looks like it's going to be in JSON format. So within Godot, that's kind of the command to begin to manipulate that. This is kind of a departure from how a lot of people deal with Godot's strength is in, building these nodes and structures and using gravity and making balls bounce and having things happen. It's a game engine, right? But within this game engine, we're doing something a little different. Now, so let's look at this script here. This is, for whatever reason, it's called contest.js. Who knows what I was thinking when I made that. So it imports this file, which is also included in the file system, and then I don't know why it does that. It uh, yeah. So I'm saying, so yeah, that's how you that's part. This is part of how I imported into this ethers variable, right? That's not the way it's done in React, let's say, but we're using Node.js in a very different way. Anyway, so I run this wallet command, ethers wallet create random, and then I print it out again with this JSON stringify. And so if we run it, um, and this part here makes it more beautiful, which you'll see in a second. If we run it, it comes back with all of this information. This is called JSON, and it's similar to an array. You can Godot, as any modern computer language, is good at manipulating JSON. So it's come up with this 12-word phrase. I believe this is called the BIP39 format. These are your same 12 uh, words that might be created by like a MetaMask wallet or something, but you're doing that part here, and you see, and from that, it's also figured out this address. This is the first of many addresses. I think if you change this path, it will do the other addresses. So this is what's seeded into, again, a wallet like MetaMask, or I have another one called Backpack. Coinbase has a wallet. Um, so uh, this phrase and address would get sucked into the game, saved somehow in a secure way, let's hope. And then you're off to the races. That's your identity. You can do other things. You can sign messages, send messages, but you pipe everything into this Node.js, and then it's going to come back in using this OS execute. And I believe that OS, capital OS and capital JSON, are just natively included, that you can access. I did a bunch of other things in the script, but that's just what I want to point out at this point. Okay, so thanks. So this should help give direction, and I'll paste some of this in the comments of the video.